Ever get that feeling? Like you're just wrapping your head around the latest phone or whatever, and bam, there's a newer, shinier version already.
It's like the tech world's on fast forward these days, right?
Totally. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. This crazy pace of tech advancement.
Sounds fascinating.
Oh, it is. We're pulling from a Joe Rogan experience clip, a real mind bender, and I'm curious to get your expert take. Ready?
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
All right, so Rogan's guest says, and I quote, "Technology scales up. It's just going to have more power and more access, and the innovation is going to come so fast, you're not going to be able to keep up with it, and all of a sudden it'll be too late."
Yeah.
Kind of makes you go, woo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, for sure.
For sure. But that phrase that really jumps out at me is, technology scales up. What does that even mean, like in real world terms?
Well, think of it like this. You've heard of Moore's law.
Vaguely. Rings a bell.
Right, so it's this observation in tech that basically says every 2 years, the number of transistors they can cram onto a microchip like doubles.
So basically, things are getting twice as powerful every 2 years.
Exactly. And that means the processing power we have just keeps multiplying at this insane rate.
Okay, I'm starting to see where that scaling up comes in.
Right. And the best part is you can actually see this in your everyday life. Like, think about your smartphone. It's more powerful than the massive computers that NASA used to send people to the moon, and those took up entire rooms.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it like that. So it's not just that we're getting new gadgets, it's that the core tech behind everything is just evolving at warp speed.
Exactly. And that's where the quote comes back in, right? The guest is saying that the scaling up leads to even faster innovation. It's like this snowball effect.
Makes sense. More power, more possibilities. But how exactly does that work?
Well, imagine it this way. With more powerful tools and readily available information, the barriers to entry for innovation are lower than ever before. Suddenly, someone coding in their basement can create an app that rivals what a huge software company puts out.
So it's like leveling the playing field in a way.
Absolutely, and that accessibility just fuels a constant influx of new ideas and advancements, which in turn accelerates the pace of change everywhere.
Wow, it's like a chain reaction. One advancement sparks another, and suddenly the world's a completely different place. Makes you wonder, though, could it get to a point where, like the guest said, it just becomes impossible to keep up?
It's a valid concern. Take artificial intelligence, for example.
Oh yeah, that's a hot topic.
Right. And for good reason. The algorithms are becoming so complex, the data sets they're trained on are growing exponentially. We're seeing breakthroughs in machine learning. It's all happening so fast. And to even try to keep up with it all requires constant learning and adaptation.
Totally agree. I mean, even something like AI image generation, which I've played around with a bit, it feels like it's changing every week. But it's not all doom and gloom, is it? This rapid pace of innovation got to have some positive implications too.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I mean, technology has the potential to tackle some of humanity's biggest challenges. Like in medicine, for example, we're seeing insane advancements in gene editing personalized therapies, even using AI for early disease detection.
Yeah. And I've heard a lot about how tech can help with sustainability too.
Exactly. Renewable energy, carbon capture, these are all technologies evolving rapidly, and they offer potential solutions to the climate crisis.
It's mind-blowing to think about all the possibilities. Almost feels like we're on the verge of a whole new era.
It really does.
So before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from our listeners. What are your thoughts? Are you more excited about the possibilities or kind of nervous about the potential downsides?
I think that's a question we should all be thinking about, because the future of technology isn't set in stone. It's shaped by the choices we make today.
That's a great point.
So as we embrace these advancements, it's crucial to think about the ethical implications, the potential for jobs being replaced, and the need to ensure that these technologies are being used to make the world a better place.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So listeners, here's a final thought as we leave you today in this era of nonstop technological change. The most important skill you can have is adaptability.
Totally.
Keep learning, stay curious, and talk about the future you want to see. Because the choices we're making right now, that's what's shaping the world of tomorrow.
I love that. Couldn't agree more.
It's been a great deep dive. Thanks for joining me.
My pleasure. Anytime.